No,
Or is
that
it-
if you send them that link, they will join the stream
Oh,
um
okay, okay.
with us. So unless you want there to be like a third participant, then
I don't care either way, but I'm okay. I guess we'll just go as is since I don't want to like delay you any further.
yeah, I don't really know how that would pan out. Well, how are you doing today?
I'm good. What did I do? I woke up and I ate some eggs and sausage, and I remembered that I probably need to start changing my diet because I just got my blood work back and I need to stop eating grains. So rice, beans. I probably need to start a keto diet soon. I also started Googling some stuff in regards to fixing like my car key ignition. It's like stuck in I can't pull it out. I can turn the car off, but I can't pull the key out. So I've just been YouTubing how to fix that.
I
I
see.
took care of the internet errands. What's up?
No, I just said I see. You can keep going.
Yeah, I also did some internet errands. What did I do? I was like, looking at my credit score for like something like this credit card I was applying for. I made sure that my letter of resignation went through for HR. So that's good. I also completed some onboarding paperwork for another job that I should be starting on Monday. And then I checked my social media to see if later today I'm going to be meeting up with someone for dinner. And yeah, I think that's what I did so far.
Okay. Um. Cool.
Yep.
Have you been diagnosed with, or do you suspect you have any mental conditions? Are you in a different mood than usual, or is there anything else the typist should know about your current state? Just getting that all out of the way.
Let me see. I was diagnosed with like mild ADHD when I was 16 or something. I've been on prescription Adderall XR for, maybe a while now. I think as I understand, it's pretty low dosage. It's nothing too crazy. I was recent-ish diagnosed with moderate depression. That was maybe about a year ago. I've been on bupropion or Wellbutrin, like 100 milligrams, I think, which as I understand, is also pretty low dosage. And that's worked out pretty well. I noticed I don't take as many depression naps anymore, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, sometimes I don't take the medication. Usually on the days off, I don't. But definitely for work. On my work day, I notice my
I
focus
see.
is a little bit irritable if I don't take the medication on my work day. So
I see.
yeah.
Okay. Just to bring some context to uh to bring some context to your answers. How old are you?
For I think I'm 34. I think I am either 34 or 33. The birth year is 86, so that's probably 34. I think it is
Okay.
February. Yeah, yeah. I reach a point where I just kind of forget. That's how you know when you when you reach the point where you're getting older. I just I think last year I literally no, not last year, like 2 years ago I forgot it was my birthday. Like I woke up going about my day, and then I think someone sent me a happy birthday. I'm like, oh, it's my birthday. So yeah, because on Facebook I turned off my birthday so that way no one can like bomb my wall with happy birthdays with like that birthday reminder. Um, Not because I don't like that. It's more like if I leave it on, I get too many happy birthdays, and it just kind of like to me it's like such an empty expression when it's like a Facebook reminder. I'm not
Yeah,
saying it's like fake or something, or it's just that to me it just becomes spam because everyone feels like obligated to say happy birthday.
I know what you
Um,
mean.
yeah, but at the same time, last year what I did, well, this year for my birthday, I made a public event on Facebook. I literally just said, I just posted on my wall. I said, please come to Cornish Pasty on this date for my birthday. And it was pretty cool. Like I think 20 to 25 people showed up, and we just drank. I had like shots ordered. Like I think like I must have drinking like 8 or 9 shots that night because people just kept buying me alcohol. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, that was fun. Right before
Okay.
COVID shut everything down. So yeah.
What do you look for in friendships? What do you typically talk about or do with your friends?
Let's see. Talk about. I'm pretty much open to anything. Like I don't. For me. There's no topics that are like truly taboo. I'm pretty like okay with talking about my life in general. I'm also okay with talking about like whatever stuff other people want to talk about. Like, um, usually I think I have a good understanding of like what's at the same time. It's like I think that nothing's taboo, but I do try to be as cautious and aware as I can with my friends. Like I don't want to be like an energy vampire or something. Like I don't want to overexhaust them because I also do have this idea that like what is it? If I have lots of problems that I want to work through, it's good to have friends and like a good support network. But there is a point where like I have to do like thinking and like self-reflection on my own. There's also points where I need to see like a professional, like a talk therapist. So I don't feel that it's fair to like use my friends as like to just blow off steam all the time. So I try pretty hard to not do that. And I think for the most part, I've done a good job of that. Probably in the past, maybe too well, because I think I hid the negative emotions a lot in maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And yeah, it felt like that it was in Watchmen that joke about Pagliacci the clown. It's like okay, so I'll just say it. It's a man goes to a doctor and says, "Doctor, I need help. I'm sad. Nothing makes me happy anymore." And the doctor says, "Oh, there's a simple answer to that. Just Pagliacci the clown is coming into town. Just go see him, and you'll be great." And he's like, "Yeah, but doctor, I am Pagliacci." And I thought, damn, that felt like me. I was like, like people that know me, like they're like, "Yeah, David's pretty energetic. He's pretty cool. He's happy, whatever." But
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, so. But my close friends understand that about me, and they're pretty, they're cool. So yeah, we talk about stuff like that, I think. As for stuff to do, before COVID, we would go out and drink, do a lot of karaoke, play some video games. Last year, I went to a lot of raves, a lot of music concerts. So that was definitely a big thing, too. But yeah, now with COVID, not so much that. Now just like small hangouts with some friends. Still some video gaming here and there. And a lot more Discord because for me with COVID. So that actually became like kind of a nice silver lining for me. I felt like learning about typology was like kind of a nice like introspection point, and like really nice to see how people who don't know me outside of like my current social networks or like see me face to face view me, because I think on Discord I kind of come off more level-headed maybe sometimes. I'm not sure. But I think in person, I've been described as more intense or overstimulating at times. But at the same time, I think I have to get and when to back off. But I can see where strangers or maybe people who are like new to me, they might be like, "Man, what is this guy on?" But I think once people get to know me, they're like, when I know I can when I know I can let loose, then I really let loose. But when I know that I should be more calculated, more controlled about it, then I am. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. If you found out that a friend you valued and respected was a neo-Nazi or some other ideology you take serious issue with, how would you feel and what would you do?
I guess I need to think about how close they are to my circle and how much they actually believe in that thing. Like I might ask, like, maybe they're just in a phase, or I might think, well, how old are they? Like if they're kind of young, maybe they're just like experimenting with some edgy little thing. And if they're just like staying in their house all the time and they're not, hopefully, they're just like not trying to spread this like gospel, then maybe it's a little path. If it's like a negative ideology, if it's going to hurt people, I'll try to distance myself from this person. I might, if they're important to me, if they're kind of close to me, I might try to probe a little bit, like try to find out why they believe in a certain thing. But if I reach a point where I figure that I am not going to make any change or any difference or any influence on this person, then I'll just back off slowly, because I feel like it's a waste of my time and their time to have that discussion. Yeah, because I guess I'm trying to think of like actual examples, like maybe not neo-Nazi, but I've had like some friends that had like negative opinions on women, and it's funny. Like I just try to think about like for some of these guys, I'm just like I can't use certain words because like it'll literally like trigger them. Like just the word feminism will just like set them off. They're just like, don't you understand? Like they're like men definitely have it tough. I'm like, sure, I guess. But so I try to think
Yeah.
like I try to phrase things like more in their language. So I try to use like self-interest. Like I say, hey, feminism or ideas that are what is it, sympathetic, empathetic to feminism or gender equality is actually really beneficial to men too. Like it makes
Yeah.
makes lives easier for men. And like it's kind of a shitty way to like justify like something, but I feel like I'm not going to convince this person from like a very preachy standpoint. Like I have to speak from their angle. Like from like so like same with politics. Like if I am trying to talk to someone about a viewpoint that's more left leaning, like I'm not going to quote stuff from like Bernie or Andrew Yang or Joe Biden's more of a centrist, but I'm not going to use those quotes. And if anything, I might find quotes from other Republicans and like say, oh, well, how do you feel about this? It's like, well, that's interesting that you think that because Mitt Romney had said this and he kind of agrees with this. Like he came up with Romney Care in Massachusetts, and that seemed to work out for the state. So Obamacare was kind of structured off that. So it's not completely evil. It seems to have some bipartisan values in it. And so yeah, I just like when I try to talk to people about issues that I might not agree with, I try to find like a middle ground where they can possibly have like a real discussion with me. But
That's
I
a
can see
good
how
way.
sometimes it comes off to be too moderate, too centrist, or sometimes it doesn't really show like what I actually believe in. I'm just kind of like talking. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I see what you mean. I think it can be sometimes ironic how the like very devoted anti-feminists will talk about political correctness and how easily triggered other people are. But if you
Yeah.
dare to say anything that opposes these sacred values,
Mm-hmm. No, but what traditionalism or whatever they stand for. So.
yeah. But yeah, I see what you mean. Do you work or study? If so, where do you work or what do you study?
Yes, so I was working for this company that was outsourced by the U.S. Census, so it was like a help desk job. It's mostly just helping like not computer savvy people fill out their U.S. Census form. So that was it was interesting, just a simple like help desk style job. Before that, I was doing some IT work, and that's mostly like more of the. I did a lot of IT work really. So I worked like in a data center for a few years. I did like Windows support, Linux support, a little bit of VMware, and I'm actually going back into that as of like next Monday because the census job is coming to a close, and I've been applying for the places. And then next Monday I should be starting this data center gig, which I think is mostly Linux based. I'm not sure. I should probably look it up. I forgot. But yeah, that's what I do for work. As for education, I have 2 associate's degrees, which doesn't really mean anything. The first one is like I got the degree because I just taken so many intro to whatever classes that I actually had enough credits to get like a associate's of general studies. And then the second degree happened because I was trying to qualify for a transfer scholarship, and my counselor had said, "Well, you already graduated, so you can't use this transfer scholarship, but you actually have if you just take like 9 more credits, you'll qualify for this other associate degree." Well, wait, my first one was Associate of Arts, and then the second was General Studies. He said, if you do that, then you can probably, under a loophole, it looks like you're a transfer student because you just graduated, even though you already graduated like 8 years ago or something. So that's why I did the second one. But then I missed a deadline for something, so it ended up being used anyway. But, and then, yeah, I'm also just trying to push myself to self-study more like IT certifications. So stuff like Python or C++. Because at some point I want to get a bachelor's, and I don't know, like maybe CIS or something, or maybe cybersecurity. That's going to get pretty big. So who knows?
Cool. Stefan says hi, by the way.
Who says hi?
Stefan said hi. I think he
Stefan.
initially got it wrong. Yes.
Hello, Stefan.
I think I actually got all of the info I needed on that, so I'm going to skip ahead a bit. What are your main hobbies or interests? What do you like about them?
Let me see. I used to do like I used to do a lot of I used to do a lot of gaming. I mean, like everyone plays video games, so like I was trying to take it to the next level. Like I was in the competitive like fighting game circuit. I think for one of the games, for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I sort of hit Gatekeeper level, which is like at a level where I can beat most casual people, but I probably wouldn't be able to beat like the best in the state. And then for Overwatch, I got pretty serious with that. Like I hit what is it, Master, which is like 3,500, which is pretty okay. And then I fell out pretty quickly because I didn't deserve to be there. My technical skill just wasn't quite up. Like I'm pretty good at following orders, or I'm pretty good at like talking with a group. Like if I have a core group that I play with, like I find like I guess a communication style that just works with that group. But I'm really bad in solo queue because it's kind of because I feel like in solo queue you don't have time to like really mesh with your group. You just kind of bark orders and then hope that they listen to a shot caller. So I'm not as good at that. I think it's more like I don't want to take a leadership role unless I have to, or I think that I might be the best fit for it. But even then, I'm still weighing out like should I fight for this role? But yeah, okay. So that's for competitive gaming. Aside from that, I used to go to a lot of raves, a lot of music festivals. So I'm into a lot of yeah. I guess music has been always pretty big in my life. I took some classical voice lessons for some time, and I just did community college like opera stuff. I'm pretty proud of that actually. I did have 2 different paid gigs for retirement homes, so I'm actually really proud of that too. Sang some opera for some nice elderly people. And what else did I do? Yeah, in school, I was in orchestra, marching band, concert band, wind ensemble, drumline. What else? So yeah, I like singing. I like to play music. I like to play different instruments. I like to, maybe not so much anymore, but I like to, I guess, make music every once in a while. Like I taught myself a little bit of Ableton Live through just YouTube tutorials. And then I also tried my hand at just like DJing for fun. So I bought like a beginner's like DJ deck. And yeah, I made a few mixes, which is pretty cool. I submitted them for contests. And like one thing I really try to do is like I try to have like tangible product or like creation, so that way it's for me it's like a personal milestone. It's like, yes, this thing that I bought actually created something. So for example, with the DJ deck that I bought, I just kept thinking, I was like, man, I hate that I kind of became that guy that's like, oh wow, EDM's really cool. Wow, DJs are really cool. Wow, I want to be a DJ. It's kind of like the guy with the guitar that's like, anyway, here's Wonderwall, right? I was basically like conscious of the fact that I might be that, but a DJ version of that, and I didn't want to be that. So I said, in order to avoid being that, I just have to produce work. I just have to do it. Like instead of like being afraid of becoming a negative stereotype, just overcome it. Just produce work. So that's why applying for contests online, for like mix contests, motivated me further to push that craft forward. So yeah, I do have like some mixes that are uploaded like online, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. So it's gaming, music. And for gaming, what's cool is that I actually did incorporate that into like more of a professional life. In 2018, I was approached by a friend who works for Invent Global, which is like this esports company. It's like the Western branch of Invent Korea. They're trying to like break into the Western market. And they basically said they're looking for someone who's writing for Overwatch material. And he said, I feel you can write, I feel that you can talk, and you obviously know about Overwatch. So do you want to get paid to write about Overwatch stuff? I was like, yeah, I do. So that was pretty cool. It was a paid gig. Pay was not great, but it did actually break even rent. So that was kind of cool. Then yeah, they flew me out to Burbank to attend an esports conference. I also interviewed Moth from San Francisco Shock. Also Lynx. No, I edited Lynx from one of the Texas teams. I can't. Houston Outlaw. So that was cool. I managed to apply my hobby into something more professional. Before that, I did a lot of anime cons, like comic book conventions. I did cosplay here and there. I also volunteered for some of the stuff. I was director of guest relations for this one Arizona con, and that was an interesting experience. I got to negotiate with agents for appearance fees, and I got to book their flights and assign people to meet them at the airport to pick them up and then take them to the hotel, make sure that they actually attended their panels, made sure that they were having a good time at the convention so they could tell their friends. So that way we can make sure that next year we can get more different more voice actors or get the good ones to come back. So that was fun, I guess. That was kind of cool. And I guess that was another example of like converting my hobby into something slightly more semi-serious, I guess, like more like hobbyist, I guess. I don't know. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's what I can think of immediately. Yeah.
Okay. How often do you acquire new hobbies? How long do they typically last? You sort of went into that, but like I'm trying to be a bit more specific here.
Yeah. When I was younger, I definitely had the problem of like just picking up hobbies too quickly and then just dropping them, and I was conscious of that. Like I was aware, like it's like God, like I remember I watched this anime called like Hikaru no Go, and it's just like about Go, and I was like I want to get into Go, and I like had like one private lesson, and I like tried it like on Yahoo Games or something. I was like, this is too much work. I was like, I'm done with that. And then like I got into Initial D, like and I'm like, oh, cars are cool, and I like read a lot about cars. And then I thought, and I realized, oh wait, I don't have the money to really get into cars. But then later in my life, when I had like a stable job, I was like, okay, I can now get into cars, but I want to do it like in a semi-affordable way. So I did like a lot of research about like what's the sort of cheapest way to get into cars, and like they basically said either the Nissan 240 SX or the Mazda Miata because there's a lot of aftermarket support. So I bought a Miata, a used Miata, and I had fun driving around with it, but I still never took that one to the next level. I never like went into autocross or anything. I just like, I don't know. I guess in the end, I just treated it as a daily driver. So because I was conscious of the fact that I would pick up hobbies and like not really go too far enough with it, in my later years, that's why I put a lot of importance in like having something tangible to show for my hobbies. So I think over the past like 2-3 years, what's really actually helped me is using Instagram stories and Snapchat, because it's like my social proof that I'm like doing something. And it's worked because like I post stories and people are just like, whoa, you're getting into like I got into Rubik's cubing because at my census job I couldn't bring my phone in. So during downtime I was just really bored, and I realized that some people would bring in like puzzles to work on, or they would use MS Paint to draw, and someone brought Rubik's cubes in. So I just thought, okay, I'm gonna learn the Rubik's cube, and I got really into it, and now I can solve the Rubik's cube average like 60 to 90 seconds. My PR is like 44 seconds, which is pretty cool. And like it's something I never thought I'd really get into, but I'm stuck. I guess I'm proud of that. And I put it on my stories on Snap, and every once in a while someone's like, dude, that's cool. I used to do Rubik's cubing, and then that's like an opening for me to talk to them about something. Or actually, another cool thing I did recently was I hung out with some friends that were like really into rope bondage, and they're just like, oh yeah, we just practiced on each other. I was like, okay, how did you learn? They're like, just YouTube. What? That's it? They're like, do you have to get like specialized rope or anything? They're like, well, you should get like cotton because that's like softer on the skin, but it's not really good for suspension, but it's good for like practice, and cotton's really cheap. And then another friend was like, you can also just go to like Harbor Freight Tools and get some really bad rope that's like dirt cheap, but you don't want to practice on people, but you can practice on yourself or on like a waifu pillow or something. And I thought, okay, I guess I'll do that. And I did that, and I like showed off some of my rope work on my Instagram stories or on Snapchat. And that definitely was a hit. Like I got a lot of people saying like, yo, that looks really cool. Like, how did you learn that? And I had a few people saying like, hey, you should practice on me sometime. And then, I'm like, okay, that's kind of jokey. But then I kind of like feel them out, see how much they're joking. And with one person, it got pretty serious. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of cool with the fact that I can use this as my social proof of hobbies that I pick up and have a tangible result with, I guess. Because I try to avoid hobbies that don't, how do I explain it? That don't, if I don't have anything to show for it, which for me kind of sounds like slightly shallow. It's like, I think about like, if a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, did it make a sound, right? It's like, if I picked up a hobby and no one acknowledged me, then did I really pick up the hobby? So it's like, for me, like, I'm slightly bothered by that because it's like, so is my identity just made up of other people who are just walking mirrors? So like, my identity is just what I see in other people. But I don't know. Like every once in a while I think about that and I think, well, maybe I am. And if I am, then that's okay. I just have to be the best version of that. So, yeah. Think about it.
Okay, interesting. Do you have any significant other, or have you had one? If so, compare yourself with them. How are you different?
Yes, I was with someone for 9 years, and we lived together for 4 or 5 of those years. She was a very kind person, very introverted, um, very introspective, single mother household. Her mother was probably a clinically, what is it, like a cluster B, like narcissist, probably, based on her behaviors. Like she was aware that she was very attractive and she attracted men, and she used that power. Publicly, she put on a face that she was like the world's best mom, but she really wasn't. She was pretty uncaring about her kids. Pretty much used her kids as props in a way. Um, and yeah, my ex, the girl I was with then, just had to deal with that. Like she didn't have a lot of love in her life. Also, with her stepfather, she could tell that the stepfather loved his blood daughter more than her, even though the my ex was like trying really hard to have like a good father figure, so like showed him a lot of love. So it really sucked for her. Like she just didn't have a lot of love in her life, and it was really hard for her to make friends. Like she just had a string of bad luck. Every time she made friends, they just ended up being like not great people, like just energy vampires. So she was a really kind person, but in the end, it kind of fell apart because both of us were kind of codependent on each other in a way. Like, um, I actually became like less outgoing because when I would go out to stuff, she would be like, "Oh, you're going out again?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I want to go to this party or something." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, have fun, and I'll miss you." I'm just like, well, "Damn, that makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I'm leaving you behind." So then I would just be like, "Okay, well." So she accidentally guilted me. She didn't do it on purpose. And then I started thinking, well, I'll just bring her to these parties. And I bring her, but then she gets really exhausted. And then and then also on my fault, on my fault, sometimes I forget to like introduce her properly. So I'll go to these parties, and once I enter, people are like, "Hey, David, how's it going? It's been so long, so and so." And then I just kind of forget, and then she's like left in the dust. And that's like super not cool of me to do that. So it was like I couldn't bring her out to like my social events because she couldn't keep up with my pace, and I couldn't just leave her at home because then it was like I was ditching her. So I, I guess my answer to that was just like kind of to be less social in a way. And then at the same time, she was like pushing really hard to like take illustration really seriously, and she was getting really close. Her portfolio looked really, really good. And but unfortunately, she wasn't working at the time, so I supported her financially for a long time. And in my head, I just kept thinking, this is an investment because she's so close. And once she lands that job with Nickelodeon, WB, Cartoon Network, whatever, then we're going to be good. Then we're going to move to California, and then, like she said, she'll take care of me or whatever. That's what she would say. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry that I'm such a burden to you. Like once someday when I get the job, like I'll take care of you." I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool, cool." But then at the same time, she would say, "Well, she's like, I don't want you to give up on your dreams. Like if you want to do like whatever you want to do, what is it, like voice acting or well, like being a band? Like to me, it's like childish dreams now. But I kind of did like a little bit of that. Like I played in a local band. I played in some dive bars. We played at anime cons. I entered this contest, and I'm on like the bonus track of this one like unknown anime Blu-ray, but it was enough to give me an IMDb credit, so that's kind of cool. But it also sucked because it was like 12 hours of like screaming into a microphone, and then like I didn't get paid for it because it was a contest. And then also like working as a director of guest relations, I would work with these voice actors, and I realized I didn't get paid very much, and it was just like, I think I care about money a little bit more than I thought I did. So I was like, I got to pick passion versus money. How do I balance it? And then in the end, that's why I do IT work, because I'm like, well, I'm pretty familiar with just like working with computers, and I don't hate like a job where I'm like sitting down at a computer seat just doing IT stuff, and during the downtime I could just kind of web surf a little bit. So that was like my balance of like, how do I balance get money so I can like enjoy stuff, and also not be miserable. But then that's why I was financially supporting her. But it became kind of draining, and eventually like I just yeah, it was codependency because she was trying to make me happy so she could be happy, but I was trying to make her happy for my own happiness, and that just doesn't work because you got to be happy for yourself. And that wasn't something I learned until after we split and I had been seeing a talk. But yeah, that was that relationship, and that ended 2 years ago, like early 2018, so like 2 years and a half. And after that point, I became like I was like soul searching, and I was kind of like an ethical hoe for like 2018. Like I had two friends who were some people would consider fuckboys, and I just but they're still my friends, so I like went to them for advice, and then they're just like, "Hey man, you're free now. You can do whatever you want." And like some people were worried. They're like, "Oh, David's gonna become a fuckboy because like he's been coached by these like like want to be like pickup artist people. But I was pretty confident that I wasn't going to be like that because I don't, like I just don't, I don't think the way they do. Like for them, like they're like proud of their body count. It's kind of disgusting in a way, and they just lack a lot of emotional intelligence. And I can't relate. I'm not saying I'm like some high EQ, like
I know what you mean.
yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that, but I don't want to be like this, whatever, this negative image of a fuckboy. Like I just wanted to move on, I guess. So that's why I refuse to say that in 2018 I was a fuckboy. I was an ethical hoe in 2018. Um, but yeah, since then, I've had some casual encounters, I suppose. But there is someone that I just really care about her a lot because I dated her for like a month, like a month in 2018, and then we just kept going on and off, like moments where she made me really mad, then I made her really mad, but then we're both going. So it's like slightly toxic, but also sort of positive relationship. But, it's complicated. Yeah.
Okay. How easy is it for you to feel relaxed? What do you do to relax?
Ready to relax. See, that's funny because I don't really have like I can't think of anything immediate because all I'm thinking of is the stuff that I do. But like normally for people like they relax, they're not thinking about like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, um, I don't know. I like doing stuff. Like I don't like. It's like even if I'm stuck at home, like I want to have like a video essay on YouTube playing, or maybe a video game to play. But at the same time, even for video games, like like a few months ago, we got into Civilization, and Civ games take like 12 hours or something. And I don't know. I guess the point I'm getting at is that was like still relaxation for me. It was like a game that felt very that felt like I was doing a lot. So I guess I don't really have a concept of relaxing. It's kind of whenever I'm doing stuff, then I feel pretty good. But I guess I don't know. It's not like I never relax. I mean, what else do I do? I masturbate. That's kind of relaxing. That's fun. I do some recreational drugs here and there. It's kind of relaxing. Psychedelics, ketamine. That's kind of relaxing. Wait, no, not psychedelics. Well, ketamine, yes. That's very relaxing. Unless you take a lot, then you K-hole, and then that's just weird. But psychedelics, sometimes relaxing, and sometimes very intense. Yeah. I think that's kind of abnormal to describe those as relaxing. But, yeah.
This is the most like this is like has been like the most stereotypically extroverted response to how do you relax that I've gotten so far.
I like to use the news. That's like that's so doing something. Okay, when I was vacationing in Taiwan, when I was traveling, that was really relaxing because I went to a lot of museums. I went to a lot of like national parks. Yeah, I just felt like I was like I don't know, looking at art, being in nature was very relaxing. But I guess even that is still kind of an extrovert thing to do. Like I was outdoors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not a bad thing, obviously, but most of the things that you've said have been like active, high energy things,
right?
Or things that are associated with extroversion. Anyway, I think that was I think that was helpful in getting the info I needed.
Mm.
What do you think that you're
not extroverted? That's relaxing. Sorry, go ahead.
What do you think that you're best at? When you receive compliments or praise, what are they about?
I still feel like a little awkward when I get compliments. I'm not sure why. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't like it. I mean, sure, I like being validated. That's cool. But I think it's like sometimes I don't know how to respond to it because I don't know. I don't know why. But okay, so your question was how do I what do I think I'm best at based on compliments that I get? Was that the question?
Generally, I try to leave the questions open to interpretation, but
Uh,
if you want, I can repeat it.
yes, one more time, please.
What do you think that you are best at? When you receive compliments or praise, what are they about? It's two separate questions, but I'm sort of just grouping them together.
Okay, I can. So if I'm thinking factually on that, like when I do receive compliments, I receive compliments on uh, my fashion. So what I wear. So if people if people are like, man, David's always well dressed. Like he's always like wearing something pretty cool. And I attribute that to just having a lookbook. So on my Evernote account, I have like a page where if I see an outfit that I think looks really cool, I'll just like save a picture of that. And like when I wake up in the morning, I'll think like, I don't know what to wear, but I kind of want to wear this one piece, which is like maybe like an olive colored like jacket or something. And I'll look in my lookbook to see if I have an outfit that already uses that one piece and kind of like build off that. And I also think I do have a lot of misses. Like sometimes I have outfits that don't quite work out, but I just own it. I'm just like, okay, cool, I tried it, and that didn't really work. But and I always take a picture before I leave the house of my outfit, so I have an idea of like whether I want to wear something like this again. So when people compliment my fashion, I don't think of it uh, like like it was some sort of like natural gift, because I don't think it was. I think it was a learned thing. I think it was just something I learned to experience. I just kept doing it, and I kept like building on it, like having a personal lookbook. I think it was an effort. I don't think I had natural fashion sense. I think it was an effort. Aside from that, music stuff, like people will compliment my singing. Um, that was one where I feel like maybe I had like a natural understanding of pitch, so that was good. But I still think it was also work as well, because the best tip I got for like hitting high notes was my teacher said, okay, you have natural pitch, that's good. But now your problem is that when you're hitting high notes, like you tense up your vocal cords, and you like your face looks like you're in pain because you already know what the high note is supposed to sound like. So you're like putting so much stress on your vocal cords to do that. And she said, that's great if you're going to be like a rock star with like a really nice microphone set. But she's like, back in the old days, they didn't have like a PA system. They didn't have electronics. They had to project with only their voice. So because of that, they had to find healthy ways to hit that high note without like tensing your face, without doing that. So I just thought, and she said, the analogy she used was, think about the sound of a vacuum cleaner. When you turn up the speeds of a vacuum cleaner, it makes a higher pitched sound. She said, in order to hit that high note, you don't need to tense up your throat. You need to phonate your vocal folds faster, like a vacuum cleaner motor, to hit that high note, hit the high note. And that like changed the way I thought about singing, like for a long time, like up until now. And that was like, it was hard. It was hard to unlearn like it was a naturally good pitch that I had, natural methods that I had. So yeah, even for singing, I feel like it was effort. It wasn't like I was naturally good at it. Like maybe I was naturally good at one thing, but then that actually became like a bad thing, like later on, to unlearn something that was something naturally good at. So there's that.
I'm sure it must have been reassuring to have your voice compared to a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it takes. What's interesting about like voice is that I feel like a good vocal teacher will look for analogies that work for each individual student, because the voice is such a personalized instrument. It's not like a one size fits all. Like same, like everyone's playing the same guitar, everyone's playing the same cello, violin, or whatever. Like everyone's vocal folds are different, so you have to find terminology that works for them. It's like, damn it, it's like, I'm probably gonna butcher the idea behind this, but it's like when Wittgenstein was talking about how like what is the beetle box? Like everyone has a different understanding of what that means, right? Like lion, like if you could understand what a lion was thinking, but you wouldn't because you're not living that. It's like, or even if I use the word feminism, right? It's like my understanding of that word is gonna be different from someone else's. So, and same with being taught how to sing. Like if someone says, "Oh, you're hitting that note kind of weird. Like, can you make it more? Can you sing it faster?" Maybe to me, when I hear that, I'm not thinking like actually speed. I'm thinking about phonating my vocal folds faster. Maybe for other people, they'll say something like, "Your voice is kind of orange right now. Can you make it more red?" And that maybe works for that. Yeah,
I see. I'm sure that works really well if you have like synesthesia or something.
have what?
if you have like synesthesia.
Ah, okay. I don't know if I have that, but yeah. Okay, and then one more thing that people usually compliment me on is, uh, this is one that's like definitely like I feel weird about thing because it's kind of like those moments where like you say like, oh, I'm a really humble person, but like that's like such a ironic statement to make. But people say that I'm pretty like genuine. They're like, man, you're just like a really good natured guy. You know, you're just like it's like they just say like I'm just a good hearted person. But when and that's why it's embarrassing to say that. It's like, hey, I'm a really good person. Okay, like.
I mean, I did ask. So I think it's a bit different.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess to describe why people might interpret me that way, I think it's just because I just kind of, I think I wear my heart on my sleeve for the most part. I'm pretty open about what I think about stuff. But even then, I still kind of filter it a little bit. Like I try hard not to be overly rude about stuff. Like I am conscious of like how people feel about stuff. So it's like, I'm real, but still with other people's feelings in mind. If that makes sense, I guess. I think.
Okay. Yeah. I think I might have an answer now.
Okay.
Let me see. I haven't actually checked the probabilities, but like, if they're what I think they are, I might just ignore them. Yeah, pretty much. So it's sort of split between FES and SEF, leaning to SEF. But I think that you're definitely irrational over rational, so I don't think that FES is even a possibility. Like for example, one memorable part was the fact that you pick up and drop hobbies a lot, and you especially did that when you were younger. And FES is not very likely to do that. Nor is any other rational type. Yeah, I also think that I mean, you probably basically know this, but I think that you wanting a tangible result from your hobbies as opposed to something. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's an indicator that you're a censor. Because you pay more attention to tangible results than the more subtle figurative things that might be the reason that an intuitive is more likely to pursue hobbies that don't create clear physical results.
Yeah.
And especially everything about social proof. I don't think there were that many other like major elements, but there were just a lot of small things that add up that make me think that.
Yeah. So like building on what you said, there's two things I can immediately recall, which is that, so just going off, I guess, model A, like there's 3 types that I've been looking at, and using Lau's type comparison test, it was with SEE, ESE, and IEE. And I remember, like my idea of what an ESE is, like more, they're more of like a host. Like if they're gonna they might organize something, they want to make sure like everyone's having a good time or whatever. And I remember someone said like, hey, I feel like that's you though. They're like, because when we're all like tripping together, you're like usually like a really good trip sitter. And I said, that's true, but the difference is that if I have to be the trip sitter, I'll be a really good one. But I really prefer not trip sitting. I really prefer tripping with you. Which would be really fun, but also at the risk of like, there's no risk, But to me, that's more fun. But that's why, to me, I was thinking that would be more SEE over ESE, because like it's like if I have to do it, I'll do a good job, but I prefer not to. So I was thinking that sounds kind of FE demonstrative, but I don't know. And then the other example you said about being more censor was like when I read descriptions about IEE, they talk about how like they like to explore like novel ideas, like just like more creative explorations, I suppose. And I felt like, yeah, I like to like try new things, but I don't think I like to try new things for the sake of just like, I'm not thinking like, wow, I'm like, this is what a unique creative way to do this. I think because I'm actually not. Like when I try new things, I actually look for the most efficient way to do it, or the fastest way to get results. Like for Rubik's cubes, like some people are like, oh yeah, like I figured out all on my own, like intuitively, and I'm just like, that's great. I watched a YouTube video and I learned the algorithms for how to solve it as quickly as I can. I did not use any intuition. I'm looking for the most efficient ways to solve this Rubik's cube. And to me, that was like, well, was that also like PE mobilizing, where I'm like trying really hard to be efficient with like getting a goal? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I see what you mean for both those. So as for the first thing, I think that the stereotype of the SEF being a host, I don't think that it's entirely off, but I don't think it's their main thing.
Right.
Especially because the benefit that ring they're in, the focus of it, is the opposite of what I would expect to be typical of a host. I would expect them to be to create a sort of balance and so basically the benefit ring that the FES is in, I refer to it as anarchic because their social role is to sort of is do you know about the concept of anti-fragility?
No, what is this again?
Do you know about the concept of anti-fragility, which is the idea of a system that, as opposed to a fragile system that collapses under slight pressure, an anti-fragile system requires pressure to not collapse.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, so an anarchic type sort of creates disorder and imbalance,
Yeah.
and to sort of motivate the anti-fragile aspects of the system.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I don't think that aligns that much with the idea of a host. I mean, I guess it could to some extent, but I think that the basic concept of it is aligned somewhere else. But anyway, what I think what you said in your case basically could apply to SEF. I don't think there's any contradiction there.
Okay.
As for the second thing, yeah, what you were saying sounds like roll any, and it sounds like launcher TE, which I mean, an SEF might be motivated and set into action by the prospect of material gain. And or the prospect of doing something more efficiently, and that's one of the ways that they dualize with the NIT, obviously, because they have because they outwardly project onto their close territory productive systems, ways to manage time and resources more efficiently, etc. And that helps with the SEF's endeavors. I don't know. I don't really have a major point here, but I think that all of what you said makes sense and aligns with your type.
In regards to the anti-fragile systems that you're talking about, were you saying that ESE is not part of that, or because you're saying anti-fragile like does well, like they adapt with pressure, like what is it like? Damn it, what's the term? Like stress testing. Like anti-fragile systems are cool with stress testing. It would make it stronger in a way.
Yeah, I would say that like these types are the ones doing the stress testing and the ones applying the pressure.
So both ESE and both FES and both SEF do that?
No, the SEF is in the expansive ring, which is not really connected to, which is not very connected to the concept of either fragility or anti-fragility or balance or imbalance.
Okay.
But the anarchic types are FES, SET, TEN, and EF.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to read up on that one more later. I don't think I've ever learned about those rings. Like,
I think it's on my site.
Okay. I'll take
I don't know if it's anywhere else.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Any more questions? Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll let you go then. And the one other person who's watching.
Cool. Okay, so you said that the final typing is likely SEF, and then with some possible FES, or
No, I don't think you're FES.
oh, okay.
I don't think that you could be rational.
Okay.
I had also considered NEF, but I don't think you are now.
Hmm.
I don't think I can't see any type other than SEF. I could be wrong, but I can't see anything else.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. I
Yeah,
think I'm good. I appreciate your time.
yeah. Thanks for being here.
Of course. All right. Catch you
Yeah.
later.